Hey guys, what's going on? Jamie here, lead anchor at the Sharonatsea News Department. Hey, earlier today we learned about a story just outside of Ketchikan, Alaska. A tragic story regarding two excursion planes, a mid-air collision, and multiple fatalities. We've got the story coming up after this. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Today is Monday, May 13th. 2019. Earlier today, it's been reported that two float planes that carried numerous cruise ship passengers from the Royal Princess cruise ship had a collision, causing both planes to crash. One plane was a smaller float plane. It was a Havilland UH-2 Beaver. That's the name of it. I couldn't tell you exactly how many people it's designed to carry, but there were 5 people on board. 4 Royal Princess cruise ship passengers, 1 pilot. All 5 people have been pronounced dead. The other was a little bit of a larger plane, a Havilland UH-3 Otter is what it's called. That plane had 11 people on board. As of right now, 10 people have survived, are confirmed to survive, with multiple different levels of injuries. And there's 1 person yet to be found. Now both planes were carrying full loads of Princess cruise ship Royal Princess passengers on Alaska excursions. The smaller plane was just coming back from a trip to the Misty Fjord area, and another plane looks like it was just setting out on an excursion. There are no details on how the planes collided, but to give you a little example, we'll show you this video that we took on an Alaskan cruise of one of these planes taking off. And these planes are very unique, you know, they sit on the water. They're not taking off from dry land, they're taking off right from the water. It's pretty amazing how they're handled. On these cruises to Alaska, these planes are running all day long, back and forth, taking cruise ship passengers to go see the glaciers, the amazing sights to be had in Alaska. And on this particular day, numerous people met their fate on this type of excursion. Now this is obviously tragic news for everyone involved with Princess Cruise Lines. Carnival Cruise Line Corporation owns the cruise line Princess. Everyone on Royal Princess has got to be feeling the pain from this situation. Right now the ship is still docked and there's no plans and no knowledge on when it's going to be leaving. It set sail from Vancouver a few days ago on a 7-night Alaska cruise. Now obviously night has fallen in Alaska, but the word is that they were still looking for the 1 missing passenger from the larger plane, the UH-3 Otter. Now it's amazing to think that 1 plane, all 5 people died. And as of right now, besides the 1 person missing, on the other plane, 10 of the 11 survived with just injuries. We don't know the extent of them, again, some more serious than others. But to think about the life lost on 1 plane and everyone just making it out alive on the other is pretty crazy to think about. Now the topic always comes up when you're talking about excursions. Is it better to book with the cruise ship? Is it better to book on your own? Well, in this particular case, the larger ship carrying 11 passengers, 1 being the pilot, was a ship-sponsored excursion. The smaller plane with 5 people, where all 5 people tragically lost their life, was an independent tour operator. But again, all passengers on board these planes were all from the Royal Princess cruise ship. Now, a company out of Alaska called Taquan Air was operating the UH-3 Otter, and at this time they have suspended all flights. I'm sure they're looking into what may have caused this, but initial reports don't seem to indicate any mechanical failures on behalf of the planes. There doesn't seem to be any sign of any gas, oil leakage, or anything like that going on that would be inconsistent with what transpired. Now at this time, Princess Cruise Line is extending its full support to anyone who was traveling with the passengers that were injured and lost their lives on these excursions. And there's not a lot of news to report as of yet. Identity of the passengers is being held. At this time, there doesn't seem to be many pictures or video coming from any of the scenes. I mean, you have to remember these are pretty remote locations, and this happened about 8 miles from Ketchikan. So it's not like there's going to be news crews and people on the scene right away. It was actually a passing boat that rescued the 10 people that were on the larger plane that did survive the crash. You know, Alaska has some of the most amazing views out there that you can see on any cruise ship excursion. Sharon, Matthew, and myself spent some time on an Alaska cruise, and it was fantastic. The view of the glaciers, the scenery, it's just majestic. And the excursions like this are incredibly popular. Helicopter, small airplane excursions, being able to cover a lot of area and see the sights. Now, I don't know how this is going to affect excursions going forward. Chances are, like most things, this is a tremendous tragic news story today, but a few weeks from now, things will probably be operating back to normal. I know the topic of an excursion like this came up with my family, and at the time, we decided the risk wasn't quite equal to the reward. And of course, when you go on an excursion like this, you're trusting that you have an experienced pilot, a properly and well-maintained aircraft that you're in, and the excitement of the potential for the excursion probably overrules the nerves that you might be feeling and the concern you'd have about going up in a plane. But I think it'll definitely make people think the next time they look to book an excursion out of Alaska by plane or by helicopter to see these amazing sights. Now, we'd be curious to know if this would affect you guys on your next Alaska cruise. Let us know in the comments. If any more news comes out regarding the story, we'll be sure to share it with you. But that's really about all that we have. There's not a lot of news besides the basic story. So once again, 2 small float planes have crashed, carrying 16 total passengers, 14 of which were from the Royal Princess cruise ship. And at this time, it is reported that all 5 passengers on the smaller airplane tragically lost their life. And of the 11 passengers on the larger plane, 10 survived and are being treated as we speak. And there's still a search for 1 passenger that remains missing. Our hearts go out to all those involved. We're sorry to have to report this type of a story to you, but it is cruise news. It's something to make you think. We wish the best for everyone affected by this. Thank you very much for watching. If you are into cruising, getting cruise news, cruise tips, cruise vlogs, cruise reviews, consider subscribing to the channel. Usually we promote a little extra stuff that has to do with the Sharonatsea YouTube channel this time, but right now I just don't know that it's appropriate. So we'll just leave it as, you know, our thoughts go out to the folks involved with this, and we'll let you know if we hear anything more on the story. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a good evening.